Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this mini backpack. It has pockets on the inside, a pocket on the outside, Velcro closures, and an optional decorative buttons. You can even do it without the pockets if you like. So let's get started. You'll need the following supplies. 1/4 yard of fabric for the outside, 1/4 yard for the lining. You'll need 1 yard of 20-inch wide Pellon number 808 heavy iron-on interfacing, 1/8 of a yard of Velcro, and I'm using the stick-on Velcro. Cut your fabric for the outside 1 12.5 inch by 25 inch, 4 2-inch by 42 inch, 1 8-inch by 12 inch, 1 6.5 inch by 8.5 inch. The lining, 1 12.5 inch by 25 inch, 1 8-inch by 12 inch, and 1 6.5 inch by 8.5 inch. Your heavy iron-on interfacing, cut 1 12.5 inch by 25 inch, 1 8-inch by 12 inch, 1 6.5 inch by 8.5 inch. Cut your straps out first. And then to do that, you want to leave your fabric folded to where the selvage edges are together. And you're going to cut from the folded edge down towards the selvages. First, straighten out the raw edge of your fabric because it's never cut straight. And then move your ruler over every 2 inches until you have 4 strips cut out. Now I've stacked my strips here because I want to cut the selvage ends off. So place your ruler on the edge, line up your ruler going straight across this way, and then cut the selvage edges off. Take 2 of the straps and bring front sides together and stitch the ends together, either from 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. Then after you've done that, press this seam open. And then you're going to cut this strip to 72 inches long or 2 yards. After you've done that, you're going to go to your ironing board and you're going to press both of your straps in this manner. You're going to first fold it in half like this and press all the way down the full length of the strip. Then take one edge and fold it towards the center so that the raw edge is right on that folded line, and press all the way down the full length of the strip. Then go and do the other side. Fold it in. So it's going to look like this. Your folded edges are together. Your raw edges are together. Then fold it in half and press again all the way down the full length of the strip. Then, at your sewing machine, stitch close to the edge all the way down. On the straps, do not stitch 3 inches from the ends. You want to leave that open so that later we can bring the 2 ends together. Take the excess fabric that you had left over from your strips for the straps and go ahead and press it just like you did the straps. Then stitch along the edge here. Now you're going to cut the loops for the bottom of the bag. So cut 3-inch long pieces. On all of your fabrics, except for the straps, you're going to put your heavy iron interfacing on the back. So follow package instructions for fusing it on. To make the pocket for the outside of the bag, bring the lining and the fabric for the outside front sides together. Then at the corner here, you're going to place something round and trace around it. Take a lid from a jar or something small that you have at home and trace. Then pin all of your layers together. Then at one end, down here, you're going to leave an opening and then stitch 1/4 inch seam all the way around. After stitching the edges, then go ahead and trim these corners off down here that are round. Then up at the top, you also want to trim some of these corners off just a little bit. Leave about 1/8 of an inch of fabric. At both of your rounded corners, do little clips all the way around the curved edge. And do it on the other side. Reach inside your opening and turn this front side out. Reach inside the opening and push against all of your edges with your fingers. Make sure you poke these corners out, and then at your ironing board, press the entire top, fold these edges in 1/4 of an inch and press. Then pin the opening closed. And then after pinning your opening closed all the way across, then stitch close to the edge all the way around. Fold the bottom up to where you have about 4 inches from the bottom to here. And just press on it. Now take your Velcro piece. I'm using about 2 inches. You can use a longer one if you like. I'm using the sticky back type because it's easier to line it up. So I've already placed it on the lining side of the flap, and then just fold it over and press it down, and then you have it all set to open it up. And that way it's all lined up. The other thing I like to do, even though it's sticky back, I still like to stitch around it just in case, because this is going to get a lot of use. Take your fabric for the outside of the bag and fold it in half, and then press a crease down here at the bottom. Then at the bottom, you're going to be placing your pocket right in here. So take your pocket and place it about 1 inch from the edge down here. Okay, measure 1 inch. And it's going to be about 2.5 inches on each side. So you want to make sure you center it. Then unfold it, holding on to your pocket, making sure you've got it there. And go ahead and pin it down on both sides. Also, you're going to place a pin. There we go. It's going to go through. You're going to place a pin up near the top of the pocket right in here. After you have it all pinned down, you're going to start about 1/2 inch above this part of the pocket. So you're going to come up here and stitch down to the bottom of the pocket and stitch across and back up about 1/2 inch on this side. Then connect the two sides by stitching straight across. And go back and forth a few times right here on each side, because this is where the stress will be on the pocket. Fold the bag in half, bringing front sides together. And make sure your fold is even across there. Then you're going to mark 3 inches from the top on each side and place a mark there, because this is where you're going to begin your stitching. And then go ahead and place pins on both sides to hold it all together. Then you're going to take your 3-inch long pieces that are for your loops, and then you're going to fold it in half, stick the folded edge inside of the seam down here at the bottom, and just tuck it all the way in there so that it's even with the raw edge, and just push it right down there in the folded edge down here, and make sure you put a pin to hold. And I usually just tuck the pin in real close to it, because that way it will stay in place. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side put this loop down there, fold it in half, and of course go ahead and place pins across here. Then on both sides you're going to stitch 1/4 inch all along here, and make sure you back stitch up here as well as down here on the loops, because these are the two stress areas of the bag. To create the pockets for the inside of the backpack, take your lining fabric that is 8 by 10 inches, fold it in half, and then pin the edges together. And then you're going to stitch along here 1/4 inch and along here 1/4 inch. You're going to leave a small opening so that you can turn it front side out. Trim the corners up here near the opening. Leave about 1/8 of an inch of fabric. And then after that, reach inside your opening and begin turning it front side out. Reach inside the opening and poke at all your corners so that they're nice and smooth. Then press the entire top, and while you're pressing, fold these edges in at the opening 1/4 inch and press. Then pin your opening closed, and then after pinning it closed, go ahead and stitch close to the edge all the way around. Take the lining fabric that is 12.5 inches by 25 inches and bring the back sides together and fold it in half. Then put a crease down here, just finger press it with your hands. Then unfold it, and wherever this crease is, this is the area where you want to center your pockets. Once you have it centered where you like it, then go ahead and pin it down. So you're going to place 2 more pins on this side, and then a couple of pins along the bottom. And you're going to stitch on this side down and all the way across, and then back up here. Make sure you do back stitches here. Then also you're going to do 1 more stitch right down the center, and I would go along there a couple of times and you'll have 2 small pockets. Now you can leave out that center seam if you like, if you want 1 large pocket. Also, if you want your pocket bigger, remember this piece here was originally 8 by 10, you could enlarge it and do the same process to create your pockets. After your pockets are stitched on, take the lining and fold it front sides together. And 3 inches from the top on each side, you're going to place a pin. And continue pinning along this edge all the way down. And over here, you're going to place a pin a few inches from that 3-inch mark, and then a few inches from the bottom, place a pin. You're going to leave this open. You're not going to stitch here. So stitch 1/4 of an inch from the bottom up to this pin, and from this pin to this pin, stitch 1/4 inch. And then over here on this side, stitch 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Reach inside the opening and turn the bag front side out, and poke at your lower bottom corners at both sides. The next step is to bring the lining inside of the bag. Now right now I have the side up right now that has the pocket, the outside pocket on it. Turn it over so you do not have the outside pocket on towards you. Take your lining fabric and you're going to have it front side out. So here's my pocket. So make sure you have your pockets facing up right now. And then you're going to insert it inside of the bag. Place pins along the top edge to hold the lining to the outside fabric. Also, place pins along this edge on both sides. And I would just do one side at a time right now. Don't worry about pinning this other side just yet. Then you're going to stitch 1/4 inch from this point up to this corner, all the way across and back down here. Once you've done that, then go ahead and pin this side and do the same thing. After stitching, go to all 4 corners and trim some of the fabric off. Leave about 1/8 inch of fabric on all of them. Reach inside the bag and pull the lining out. Then, through the side hole, the opening that you had here, you're going to reach inside and pull the outside fabric through that hole. At the opening, fold your edges in 1/4 inch and place pins to hold the opening closed. Then at your sewing machine, stitch close to the edge all the way across. One of the things I forgot to mention, just before you close the opening, reach inside and poke these corners out. And if you're having problems getting the corners to come out, just use a straight pin and tug on it a little bit, and that will help pull it out. Then after you've done that, place pins along the side, across the top, and down here. Then you're going to stitch close to the edge from down here, up, across, and down. And then you would do the same thing on the other side. Fold the top edge down to where the side seam ends and place pins across here. Then you're going to stitch just along this edge all the way across. This is your casing, so you don't want to stitch it closed on the side, so leave that open. Once you've done this side, then do the same thing with this side. To insert the straps, place a large safety pin at the end of your strap. Then starting through one side of the casing, go and push it through to this other outside corner here. After you've come out on this side, now turn the bag over and you're going to wrap this around and go through the other side of the bag and go all the way out to the end. Take your other strap and put the pin on it, and now you're going to start at the end here where it is looped around. So insert it and push it all the way through out to this end, then wrap it around and insert it through here. Take one of the ends of your strap and insert it through the loop down at the bottom. Pull it through. Then take your 2 ends, unfold them, and bring front sides together. And open them up completely. Stitch 1/4 inch across here. And then you would unfold it. Now pretend it's already stitched together. Unfold it, finger press that seam open. Then fold it back like it was before, and then stitch across that edge so that it looks like this. To make the flap, that comes over the top of the bag from the back to the front, take your two pieces of fabric, the lining and the outside fabric, and bring them front sides together and pin your edges. Down here in the corner, take something round and trace around it. And then finish pinning the piece together. Up at the top edge here, fold your edges back this way 1/4 of an inch and do the same thing with the lining on this side. Fold it back and over 1/4 of an inch. Then after that, go ahead and stitch 1/4 of an inch starting at the very top all the way down and around and back up. Do not stitch across here. We're going to leave that open. After stitching, trim the excess fabric off down here in the corners. Then using a small pair of scissors, go around this corner, this curve, and do little snips all the way around. After you're done doing your snips, reach inside and turn it front side out. After turning it front side out, make sure you reach inside and with your fingers push against these round edges. Then pin your opening closed up here and also give it a good pressing. Then up along this edge here, go ahead and stitch close to the edge to close up your opening. Here is the front side of the bag. Turn it over to the back of the bag. And we're going to stitch on the flap. So you're going to place it just below the stitch line here for the casing, very close to it, and make sure you center it and place pins to hold it down. Then from the inside, you're going to stitch right on that casing stitch line. Place your Velcro on the inside of the flap right about in this area. Then you're going to fold this over, but don't fold it over too tight because once you pull on the straps, this will bunch up and it'll be thick. So you want to leave it a little loose. So I would bring it maybe an inch from the top of your pocket. Go ahead and press it down because I'm using sticky back Velcro. And then go ahead and pull it apart. And then I recommend that you stitch around it. Well, here it is. It's all done. I think it really turned out so cute. Now, if you're interested in making other bags, go to the end of this video where you see a green screen and click on the links. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you please click on thumbs up? Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to enter your email address and click on that little bell icon so that you receive future email notifications about my latest video. I'm Cheryl, and I'm so glad you came to my sewing room. I'll see you next time, and don't forget, happy sewing!